it if you need it. Yeah, we stopped seconds ago for the question number 4, and we proved why 8 is correct because tenuous means not clear, not sure, as he mentioned here, overshadowed. Now for question number 5, did you answer it?
Yeah. A.
Letter A? No, it must be letter C. Let's prove it together. Number 1, here we have verb. So we must find the subject, we must find the object. Now let's see. He said here claims are difficult to successfully. So claims are difficult to do what? Now let's read. He says, we know so little about the people archaeologists call Minoans. So we have so little about that. See, if we have little information, little knowledge about something, what does that mean? It means it's too difficult to know if that happened or not. That is why we found these claims are difficult to defend. What means it to defend? To support. To support what? To support the origin significance of knowing living rituals. So we know little about these rituals. So how can we prove it happened or not? So it's so difficult to defend. Let's see why A is wrong. Because here we are not talking about imagine, because imagine here means to believe in it something. That means you form a mental image about something if you have proved the fact about it. But here he said we have little, so how can I imagine something I have little about it? So A does not work. In this part, we don't talk about summarize the rituals or something else. I'm not talking about that. So here letter B is wrong. Of course, we are not talking about to change something because adjust means to modify, to change something, to adapt to something. But we are not talking about it changing the claims. No, he explained here we have, we know so little about, so hard to defend or support it. Something else can help you, Malak. He mentioned here, this one rely on significant speculation and the guesswork. What means speculation? It means a guess because we have and. So that means all the assertions or all the ideas depended on speculation, guessing. So if you guess something, it's not proved, so it's so difficult to support it. It'd be so difficult to defend it. That's why. So what helped me to find the subject and the verb and the object to help you what is going on. That's why. So letter C it is correct. Now let's find number 6. What's yours?
D.
Letter B, no. Let's
D, the last one.
D, no, my dear friend. Yes. Now let's see. Remember all of them correct, but the underlined only. As he says a function. He said emphasize, and it's a boast. Emphasize here as he knows by himself. He said, not he and another man, then so was he by himself. So by himself already intensive pronoun to emphasize an idea. And he just like, boast, feeling proud about his own constitution when speaking of a previous thought trip. That's why. Right? But only the underline. Let's prove why this is wrong. Because the ideas in underline does not explain any idea that he prefers solitary activities. Solitary means activities to do it by yourself only, because solely means alone. But he didn't explain that he loves it to do the activity by himself only, without help from anyone. Didn't mention that. Plus, he didn't mention this idea again. So the two halves of the answer is wrong. It's not supported in the text or in the underlined. That means we give you ideas not mentioned in the text. Always mention in the text. This can help you. And sometimes half of the answer correct. That's why. For letter B, you thought it could be correct, but no, because hints at means refers to. So the underlined refers to Harris' feelings. We don't have any feeling it's underlined. You know it as you feeling, you feel positive, you feel good, you feel bad. There is no any feeling about it. That means it is not. So the half of the answer is wrong, so B is wrong. Now number 7, what's yours?
C.
Number 7, C. No, number 7, it's letter B. Let's prove why B correct and why not C. He said the function of what? The underlined only. Right, this is underlined only. Great. Now let's see the answer. You said for letter C, it presents a long-standing divergence. What means divergence? Something going out of the target of research findings. Okay, but this one does not say that. He said several studies found negligible electoral consequences, and they know something negligible means just like proved, just clear to understand, workable. Yet, however, yet for fanboys, remember, comma fanboys here. Yet means however. So, however, some European governments recently suffered. How it's negligible, electrical, workable? Here it does not. They suffered. It's opposite. That's why it as conjunctive adverb or conjunction or transition words. Right. That is means here it does not tell divergence in the research findings. But look for letter B, identifies, explain, demonstrate, showcases, emphasize a conflict, which means a conflict to opposite ideas between what? Between the research findings and the recent events. What research findings, he said? Studies found. And the recent event. What's that? This part? As he said here, recently. So opposite or not opposite episode tell us about conflict. But wait, events that the text goes on to suggest is a consequence of complicating factor. And all of these already explained here. So the underlined explain this part. So let it be correct. That's why. Feel it?
Yeah.
We have some common terms. You can add it in your agenda vocab. This word, discrepancy, to show disparity, difference between two things. Conflict, long-standing divergence, sometimes exception. You see, all of these words could be underestimating. Do we have any idea to say the researchers underestimate, ignore, or discount, or they disrespect the findings? Don't have. So in letter D will give you ideas not mentioned. So letter D is wrong. This way. Found it? So we make answers like out of mention of topic, out of mention of questions, opposite to, not related to the text, or related to the topic general but not to the text itself. That's why. We can play with vocab, we can play with Latin roots, we can play with prefix and suffixes this way, or the half of the answer. All of these ways to invent and make answers. Now for number 8, what's your answer?
D.
Letter B? No. Let's revise it together. Always take care of this kind of questions. It takes time, but you need to read very quickly. Here, how would the author of 2? يبقى we have author of number 2. How does he or she respond to the overall argument? So this question is hard. Overall argument, not a specific point. That means you must read text 1. How to respond to 1. So 1 discusses 1 point. How author 2 respond to this point? So by asserting, or by acknowledging, or by suggesting, or by agreeing with what? It takes seconds to read it. 1. Have you finished reading?
Yeah.
So now we need you to do the same. Now, when you read, you must do like that. What are the main ideas? Any idea after the word but or any contrastive indicators or keywords like but, however, though. Focus on the second idea. Here he said not as language. So the main point of text 1 that graphic novels are not literature. He said here are experienced as a series of images, not as language. So he said novels, so not language. So make them more similar to film than to literature. So author of text 1 says graphic novels are not literature. Author of text 2, he tells him or her it is literature. So that means he disagrees. How did he know? He said, without captions and the dialogue, readers will be unable to understand what is depicted in the illustrations. And he said graphic novels qualify as literary text and not film as you think. So he disagreed. The answer D said by agreeing. By agreeing with the author, wrong. The author of text 2, did he mention anything about storylines of certain graphics are difficult to understand? He was not talking about is difficult or not. I said that without captions and dialogue we cannot understand, but he didn't mention about storylines of certain graphic novels. So he's wrong. So by acknowledge, and by acknowledge means he agreed. He agreed. Has identified a flaw. He didn't mention that text of number 1 was mistaken or he misunderstood or he has misconception. That means the idea is not mentioned in text 2. So don't guess it from your mind that number 1 explains something that means number 1 is mistaken. No. It must be written. So it's not written. So Petra, why A correct? He said the language plays a more important role. Is the role here without caption and the dialogue, the reader will be unable to understand. Yes, he said the story results from interaction of text, language, and image. And therefore, look, remember therefore here, because of all of we came to this consequence. Graphic novels qualify as literary context. Do you remember transition words? Transition words here.
Yeah.
Therefore, moreover, and here, do we have something else? No. That means this idea is addition to this, and this one consequence to all of these. So he asserting please or not? Yes. That's why. He said it has more important role in graphic novel than the author of one. Also number one says language does not make any sense, does not play any part in the novels. Number two says no, it has a lot. That's why. The letter A is correct. So always find the wrong answers first. Something not mentioned there. Not written? Exactly. So always find the evidence for the answer. For number 9, what is yours? Don't worry, this is the last question and then we'll finish. Number 9, it must be letter. What is yours?
A.
So letter A is correct. But what is a part of what's happening in the text? It means what is true. Describe something, the plot, the conflict, or find anything. Did he mention she is puzzled or confused? No. She's annoyed? No. That is spending time alone in her apartment? The reason does not mention the reason. So it must be A, observing the appearance of the street. And of course, we have descriptive language. That is correct. So letter A it is correct. All right, Malak, so no problem. Next time, inshallah, we can correct the rest of them. But today, inshallah, send the notes for transition words and some vocabulary study and some notes to revise. Deal?
Okay.
Right. And when you have any trouble at any moment, please tell me quickly. Don't wait for the time of session.
Okay.
Come on. And then now it's time for your fun. Take care of your health and stay strong. Come on, Malak. Meet you next time, inshallah. Bye-bye.
Bye.